Ladies and gentlemen, once again welcome back to our channel, and the topic for today's JCL tutorial is JCL DD Statement. The entire presentation is divided into four sections. First one is Introduction to Job Control Language or JCL. In this section we will focus on the definition of JCL and what are the different types of job control statements that you use in a JCL. In second section we will focus on JCL DD statement overview and JCL DD statement syntax details. In third section we will focus on JCL DD statement parameters and how you can use these parameters to define dataset in JCL. And in last section we will focus on JCL DD statement examples, where we'll look at different examples of how you can create a dataset with the help of these JCL DD parameters and how you can use these datasets in your COBOL program and your JCLs. So ladies and gentlemen, before I start with today's presentation, I would request you all to do subscribe to our channel because we need your support to grow our channel. And in case if you have already subscribed to our channel, then I would like to say a big thank you for your subscription. So let's get started with introduction to JCL and job control statements. Job control language or JCL is basically the command language of the ZOS operating system. JCL actually provide a mechanism for the program to read input and write output to the requested physical resources. In JCL, the job control statements are grouped into job steps, and every job must contain the following three types of control statements. First one is job statement or a job card. Second one is execute statement or an EXEC statement. And the third one is data definition statement or DD statement. Now let's look at the sequence of these job control statements in a JCL. So the first statement of any job is a job statement or a job card. It generally provides information related to a job and it has a couple of different parameters. For example, job name, accounting information, message class, message level, etc. An execute statement is a second statement and it generally follows the job statement. And finally, you have DD statement, which is required for every file that is processed by a program. Now let's move on to the next section, that is JCL DD statement introduction and JCL DD statement syntax detail. As I've already mentioned that DD statement in JCL is used to define the dataset that a program or a procedure use when it runs. You must code one DD statement for each dataset that is used or created within a job step. And remember, the order of DD statement within a job step is not usually significant. So in general, DD statements provide the system with information about a dataset characteristics such as its format, storage requirement, and record length. The syntax of DD statement is a bit complex because the parameter can be coded in various combinations depending on whether the dataset is new, old, temporary, or permanent, and catalog or uncatalog. Now let's focus on JCL DD statement syntax detail and what are the different parameters which is used in a JCL DD statement. So the first two positions are reserved for identifier. Then you have DD name, the name that program used to refer to the dataset. Then you have DD to specify the DD statement in JCL. After that you have DSN name, which is used to specify the actual dataset name and location. Next you have disposition parameter, which is used to specify the initial and final status of the dataset. The next four parameters are generally used to specify the format of the file, the record layout of the file, and the space which is required to store that particular file. Now let's look at those parameters one by one. So first one is unit parameter. It is used to specify the group name, device type, or device number that identify the device where the file resides. Then you have volume parameter, which is used to specify the serial number of a specific volume. After that you have space, which is used to specify the -d space where the file will be allocated. And the last parameter is DCB parameter, which is known as data control block. It is used to specify the format of the file, the record length of the file, and the logical record length. We will look at all these parameters one by one with example so that you can have a good understanding of how you can use these parameters while defining your dataset in a JCL. Now let's move on to the next section, that is JCL DD Statement Parameters. So the first parameter is DSN name, and it is used to specify the actual file name. And remember that a file name can be of 44 character, that includes period. The limit for generation data group or GDGs is 35 characters including period. And in case if you want to create any file on the tape, the dataset limit is 17 characters including period. So here is a sample dataset name, that is tpt.emp.sal.text.file. The next parameter is disposition, and it actually take three different subparameters. First one is status, then you have normal disposition and abnormal disposition. So the normal status can have four possible values. First one is new, in case if you're creating a new file. Then you have old, in case if you're using an existing file. And similarly, you can use share and mod as per your requirement. Now the normal disposition and abnormal disposition can have six different values. First one is new, delete, keep, catalog, uncatalog, pass. And remember, if you omit any of the value, then a default value will be assumed. So in case if you do not specify status, then a new will be assumed, and in case if you do not specify normal disposition, then based on the status value it will going to assume. For example, if you specify new, then normal disposition would be delete. If the value is old, share or mod, then normal disposition is keep. And similarly, abnormal disposition values are also assumed in case if you do not specify those values. The next parameter is unit parameter, and it is generally used to specify either a group name, device name, or a device number where you want to store your dataset. So in general you use sysda or tape or probably a specific device number. The next parameter is volume, and it is generally used to specify the volume on which dataset actually resides. Now let's talk about space parameter, which is generally used to allocate space for the new dataset. So the space parameter itself is a combination of many subparameters, and let's look at each parameter one by one. So the first subparameter is unit, and it is used to specify the unit of measure for the primary and secondary allocation. The next two subparameters are primary quantity and secondary quantity, and they are used to specify the number of units that needs to be allocated for a specific dataset. The next subparameter is dir, and it is used to specify the directory block that needs to be allocated for a partition dataset. Next parameter is release, and it is used to free the unused space once the dataset is closed. Now let's move on to the last parameter, that is DCB parameter, and it is generally used to specify the attributes of the file. And in general it has four different subparameters. First one is dataset organization, whether it's a PS or a sequential. Then you have record format, whether the file is fixed block, variable block. Then you have logical record length and block size. So the value of logical record length subparameter is used to specify the length of the file record. Then you have block size, and again block size is used to specify the length of the file block. And for fixed block, the block size is normally a multiple of logical record length. So in below example I've used record format as fixed block, logical record length is 80 bytes and block size is 800. Now let's move on to the next section, that is JCL DD Statement Example, and in this section we will focus on how you can use DD statements in JCL to define the file or to use the existing file in your COBOL program. So here's a sample JCL which is executing a program called TREMP001, and in this JCL I've used 6 DD statements. So if you look at the second DD statement, which is EMP-ACT, it's actually an employee account master file which is holding the data of all the employees which is working in a company. And if you look at this third DD name, that is EMP-SAL, so this is a new file which would be created by this program, and the file name is tp01.empsal.month. so it is actually a monthly file, and the disposition for this file is new, catalog and delete. Unit I've specified as Sista, and the space is cylinder 10,10, right? And if you see the DCB parameter, I've specified as sequential, and the record format is fixed block. Logical record length is 80 byte and block size is 800. And in case if you want to keep a block size as default, so just put it 0 or just skip it, right? And if you look at the fourth DD, that is EMP REPT, so this is actually a new report which would be generated by this particular program. And again, I've used disposition as new, catalog and delete. Unit is equal to sysda, and to copy the attribute of file, I've used the like subparameter instead of using DCB parameter. The only thing that you need to remember is that you need to specify the file which is already present in the system, right? And at last, I've just specified the space, that is cylinder 13,10. Now let's move on to the next example, where I'll showcase how exactly the logical file name of COBOL program are mapped to the JCL DD name or to an actual file in your JCL. So in this example, you have a sample JCL which is executing a COBOL program, that is tremp002, and there are two files that this program is actually using. First one is emp-mast and second one is emp-sal. So both files I've specified disposition as share, and if you look at the bottom section of your screen, so here's a COBOL program. I've just given a snippet of that. And in COBOL program there are two files. First one is emp-in, which is having a DD name as emp-mast, and the second file is emp-sl, which is having a DD name as emp-sal. So if you see that this DD name of a COBOL program is mapped with a DD name of a JCL, and both should be same, right? And the actual file name is specified, that is the physical file name is specified with DSN. So DSN equals to tp01.empfile.master is actual file name. So ladies and gentlemen, this marks an end to our today's presentation, and I would request you all to do subscribe to our channel, because we need your support to grow our channel. And in case if you have any question, then please do mention that in comment section. I'm going to respond back after this presentation. And please do share this video with your friends, and don't forget to leave your feedback in the comment section. Thank you so much.